Today we'll be talking about how to stay positive or how to be positive through the time of crisis or in time of crisis. I know that everyone been down that road and it's a very difficult one. So the first step when dealing with problems or crisis is that to stay positive, to not think of the problem actually and to think of ways of finding solutions. For by doing that is the first key and the first step that help us to relieve stress and help us to move on or finding the solution. For the more we focus on the problem and the more we keep thinking about it, the more it will feel big and feel huge inside. So just stay calm and just know that have this mindset that I will make it out of this problem because that's the first key or the main step when finding a solution. Today, I would like to introduce our special guest, Uncle Mahendra, who's been a businessman for the past 12 years. He will be explaining and telling us one of his life experience when he will have to stay positive during a time of crisis. He will also give us some examples of positive thoughts. Now, I would like to hand the floor over to Brother Mahendra.
Good morning. My name is Mahendra, and I've been in, as the host said, in retail business for 12 years. And it's actually a retail store with a gas station. And I have actually worked in business for a number of years, but this is for the past 12 years, I've been a business manager. One of the things, of course, in everyday life in this type of job is that you have to deal with problems. And so because of this, you have to start your day very positive. One of the things I have been practicing over a number of years is meditation because I have found that in meditation and doing meditation, this has helped me in my day-to-day activities, in my job, in my home. And so each morning before, well, I should say as soon as I get up, I create that positive frame of mind to not only to find solutions, but also to look ahead because in management, of course, you have to be strategic because it's a long-term planning, not just a day-to-day activity. And so you always create positive thoughts as soon as you wake up. You never see anything in a negative sense. And so when you reach at work, you're already in that state where you are prepared to deal with any problems that come your way. Of course, many of these problems would be day to day. They're recurrent problems. Of course, there would be new ones also. And so the plan is that always two of the main virtues that I practice very often is being tolerant and being patient. And of course, being patient means that you have to listen to other people. You have to listen to their views, listen to the perceptions, because there's a tendency of only to believe that your view is right, your perception is right, you see things your way, and sometimes that would create already a negative response when you're in a crisis or when you're having a problem. So you have to remain calm, you have to remain patient, and you have to develop this power of tolerance. And to me, this is one of the main virtue of tolerating. And with tolerance, of course, there is a state of calmness of the mind, so that when these problems do come, you are in this positive frame of mind, you're able to address it internally, not by reacting, but because you have already set your mind, you have already prepared your mind for these situations. It's very easy at that point. I would say about 50% of the situation would already be solved because of your state of mind.
Our next question is to give us some examples of positive thoughts and how these positive thoughts help you.
Okay, one of the things is that I work in an organization that follows international regulations, and so there are boundaries, there are rules, there are regulations, which we have to stand by as an employee. We have to follow those guidelines. We have to follow those regulations, and so naturally, of course, you will find persons reacting negatively. They won't see the need or the necessity of following such regulations also, although those especially HSSC policies, which are stipulated in any organization you go in, there are HSSC policies, and we have very strict guidelines along this way. And so you would find retail customers, of course, coming in and questioning and starting to get aggressive. And as long as I am seeing that you are in a situation where you're going to be aggressive, what I do is I started to remain calm. I would become patient. I increase my level of tolerance at that point because I know I'm going to deal with aggressiveness. And so you, you start to allow the person, of course, to express themselves. um, but you know, you're not going to react to what they're saying. You're not going to become negative to what they're saying. You're just seeing their perception, seeing their view. And then, of course, because you're in that, you remain calm and you remain peaceful. What I have found also is that when you remain in that state, there's a tendency for the individual to lessen their aggressiveness, lessen their, you know, I don't like to use the term violence, but the, you know, their nature becomes more peaceful, if I can put it that way. And so, because of your state of mind, because of your preparation, because of recognizing at that point that this person is going to become aggressive, you have created, like I mentioned earlier, about 50% of the solution to the problem. And so, you listen to their views, and because you're in, as I said, in that state of mind, you explain to them this is our policy. They may not accept it, but because you're in that state of mind, as I said, you don't react and you allow it to. Most likely, I would say more than 100% of the situation. At times, the situation and the problem is resolved.
Is there any message that you want to leave with us, Brother Mahendra?
One of the things is that when you get aggressive, when you become negative, when anger rises, remember you're matching fire with fire. You are losing your state of mind. And I have found that affects you not only in that situation, but when you go back to actually doing your work, because it takes a lot of time to remain calm, to get back to your positive frame of mind. A lot of energy is wasted. So always, I think always is we need to look see others. I know I'm using this term often, others' perception and others' view. And and your view, your perception, and you come to a compromise. Always look to find solution by compromising. It's you're going halfway to reach a person, the individual, and they most likely will come halfway to reach you. Sometimes also, They may not agree, but in that case, there's nothing you can do because you are bounded by rules and regulation. But at least you can advise them, you can talk to them, you can listen to them. It always helps because what I've found is that most times when you deal with people, also there are situations when these things will reoccur, and this same individual, you might meet them in another circumstance somewhere else, in some other circumstances in which you have to deal with them. You might be the one who needs to get their attention, and so because you have dealt with that person very wonderfully, very quietly, very calmly, they would remember you. And so it's always good to be positive, it's always good to be helpful, to be compassionate, to be kind, and always give an ear to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Now we will close with 2 minutes of meditation. As you sit comfortably, let the sounds speak. Don't label them, just listen. Now, focus your mind on one thought. And I am calm. Feel the warmth. Feel that your body is at rest and it is ready for the next. This wonderful warmth feeling of being calm is making you feel relaxed. And making you feel full with a lot of energy. Now, Take this energy and use it throughout the day. Om Shanti.